welcome back to Tim Talks Cooking. Today we are talking keto potato replacement, my friends. You heard me right, that's keto potato replacement. And I'm really excited about this episode today because I'm going to be working with a root vegetable that I'm not very familiar with. This is celery root, or also known as celeriac. And it's actually a pretty good replacement for potatoes. Now, this is a low-carb vegetable, but it's not no-carb. We're going to have to control the number of carbs that we get out of this by controlling the portion size. Celeriac, when it's cooked per 100 grams, that's about a half a cup or so, has 7 net carbs in it. So we've got to kind of control that. And actually, you're going to see how we do it. The first recipe is a very simple puree of celeriac. It's going to be kind of like mashed potatoes. It's a great recipe. You can make it ahead and freeze it. It's really quite good. Second recipe is one that I came across from one of my new friends on Facebook, Mimi Padra in Montreal, who's an administrator of a group for keto people up there called Simplement Keto. Love it. And she also is on Instagram. You'll find her at Keto by Mimi. I'll post links to those in the description there. Anyway, her recipe for Mimi's Keto Fries is one that I think is just really very smart. It's really keto, and I think you're really going to like it when you're craving French fries. Let's get started.
Here's how to prepare the celery root. First, we're going to slice off the stem end, and we're actually going to use that to stabilize it later on. Then I'm going to cut off on the other end all of these little roots here with my knife, and there we go. And now I'm going to use my vegetable peeler to peel away the rest of the peel. And there you have it. Now here, remember how I sliced that end off so we could stabilize it? I'm going to set it on this flat end, and then I'm just going to slice down, straight down here, make about 1/2 inch slices like this. Now here, I'm going to start cutting this into baton shapes, or into about 1/2 inch julienne, as you can see. Nothing to it. And now I'm going to turn it so I can make a nice even dice. I'm also going to cut out some fry shapes here, and so here we're just going to make a nice julienne. Here we've got a nice julienne for fries and diced for mashed.
We're going to treat this celery root here that I've diced up just like we would potatoes to make mashed celery root. And I'm going to add some whole cloves of garlic. There are 4 of them there. I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. And I'm also going to add here, you could use chicken stock if you want, but I'm going to use vegetable stock. And I'm just going to pour enough in to cover that. And now we're going to go over to the stove. I'm going to bring this to a boil over medium-high heat. Got my burner lit there. And so that it doesn't take all day, I'm going to put a lid on it. This should take about 5 minutes or so. When it comes to a boil, you want to turn the heat down to a simmer. And set the timer for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, what you want to do is pick a piece out with your fork to make sure that it's tender. That's ready to go. We're going to take this off the heat now, and we're ready for the next step. First, let's drain the celeriac. Here I've transferred the hot celery root and garlic to my food processor. I'm going to put in here about a teaspoon or 2 of butter. We can actually mash this in the food processor because it's not potatoes and it's not full of starch. Unlike potatoes, this is not going to turn into a gummy mess. I'm also going to add here a nice dollop or 2 of sour cream. I don't want to overwhelm it here. We want it to be a nice, thick, yummy mixture. And so here we're just going to put the lid on, get it going.
and puree it.
Obviously, whenever you're pureeing vegetables, you want to stop, give it a scrape, make sure you get everything in there, that everything gets evenly pureed. And here, as you can see, now it's pureed, and it's really a very smooth texture. And I'm thinking it's time to give this a taste. Here I just want to give you an idea of what a 100-gram serving looks like. Here's the size of my hand, right? And there's the serving. It's like a nice big ice cream scoop, actually. You can see here I've garnished it with some butter and with some freshly chopped parsley. I think it's going to be delicious. It smells great. Let's give it a taste. Very interesting, I think. Wow. This is really very good. It's a very surprising, if you're expecting potato, and I really wasn't anyway, but if you're expecting potato, you're going to be surprised. It's just delicious. The garlic and the flavor of the celeriac itself with that vegetable stock, it's really very delicious, very savory. I just love it. And like I said in the introduction, this is a dish that you can freeze and then thaw out and heat back up. If it's watery, just heat it up over the stove for a little while until the water evaporates and it'll be just perfect again. But this is a great dish to make ahead. I think it's just delicious. Don't overdo it. 100 grams, that's pretty much what you get for about 7 net carbs.
Now, let's talk about Mimi's Keto Fries. The key is this vegetable. It's called a kohlrabi. And here you can see that I'm preparing it by, first of all, cutting off the stems. And then I'm going to take a slice off of the stem end and then the root end as well. There we go. I'm going to kind of saw right through that. And then next I'm going to get my vegetable peeler out and I'm just going to remove all of this green peel here. And there you have it.
To make Mimi's fries, start off by lining a baking sheet with some parchment paper, as I've done here. You're also going to want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees. I'm going to start by taking the kohlrabi and the celery root here, which I've cut into the shape of French fries. I'm just going to put those in a great big bowl. I've used equal amounts here of each. It's 250 grams of each. This is going to make 4 servings. And when we do this, we can cut down on the number of carbs that we generally find in celery root. Each serving here is going to have about 3.54 grams of carbs. Here, what I'm going to do is start by dressing them in a little olive oil, a couple of tablespoons. Give them a little toss. You can use whatever oil you like. You could use avocado oil, grapeseed oil. You could use bacon grease if you like. That'd probably be delicious if you like that sort of thing. And now it's time for some seasonings. Here I've got a half teaspoon each of smoked paprika, onion powder, and garlic powder. And I'm just going to shake them around a little bit and sprinkle them over this. I've also got a third of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And I'm just going to sprinkle that on as well. I'm going to add in some freshly ground black pepper and just a pinch of kosher salt. The cheese is salty. And then here I'm just going to simply toss this stuff together until it's well combined and everything is coated in all of the ingredients. Next, I'm simply going to put them on my baking sheet on parchment paper. All the ingredients out there. And I like to sort of separate them out. I think they crisp up best when they're not touching. And so I'm going to take a minute to just organize them on my baking sheet. And here we are. Now this is ready to go into my 425 degree preheated oven for 30 to 40 minutes. We're going to keep an eye on them after 30 minutes. We want them to get soft on the inside and crunchy on the outside. There's my timer going off. It's been 15 minutes. And I'm going to pull these out and turn them over quickly. Let me just show you how they're doing though. Don't those look great? All I need to do here is give them a quick turn. And here they are. I've turned them all over, and now I'm going to put them back into my 425-degree oven for at least another 15 minutes. My timer's just gone off. These have been in for 40 minutes now. Look at that. I think they look great, and they look kind of crispy. You can see how the cheese has darkened and some of it's melted onto the parchment paper. I think it's time to give these a taste. Hey Mimi, moment of truth here. Let's check it out. I'm going to try one of the kohlrabi fries here real quick. Very nice. The cheese is baked up kind of crunchy on the outside. It's just delicious. That spice mixture reminds me a lot, though, the taste of the actual kohlrabi, of roasted radishes. Let me get one of the celery root fries. Here we go. Wow. Very good. It's kind of like a potato texture with a very slight celery flavor. And again, these spices and the cheese on the outside, it's just delicious. I hope you'll try the mashed celeriac and Mimi's Keto Fries. They're both really delicious dishes and so simple to make. I also hope that you will like, share, especially on Facebook, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow, and it helps you find my videos. Especially if you click on the notification bell, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, which is usually a couple of times a week. Thanks for joining us here today at Tim Talks Cooking. We'll catch you next time.